Hey guys, it's Nakmi. I'm here with another video today on solving multi-step equations. I've noticed that a couple students are struggling with this, especially when there's a variable on both sides, so I wanted to cover that today. Hopefully this will help you out for any future tests that you're going to be taking. Let's start this off here. We have 9x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 10, close the quantity, is equal to 2 times the quantity x plus 5. When you come across any types of problems like this and you're just asked to solve for a particular variable, it's best to make it as simple as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off by distributing this 3 into these parentheses and also distributing this 2 into these parentheses. So we have over here, on the left side, we're going to be left with 9x plus 3x minus 30 by multiplying that 3 with what's inside, is equal to, on the right side, 2x plus 10. Right? Simple distribution, right? This is still not simplified. We still have like terms over here that we need to combine, the 9x and the 3x. Go ahead and combine those two, and you end up with a nice 12x minus 30 is equal to 2x plus 10. Once you get to this point where there's no parentheses and no like terms to combine anymore, everything is simplified. You come down with the opportunity or the option to pick if you want the x's on the left side or the x's on the right side. There's no real right or wrong way to do this. You just pick one and go with it. You'll end up with the same answer as long as you're doing the correct mathematical steps. I'm going to go ahead and pick the left side here. I'm going to subtract the 2x from the right side. And whenever you subtract something from an equation, you have to make sure you do it to both sides. Right? That is the subtraction property of equality. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. 12x minus 2x gives me a 10x on the left side minus 30. And on the right side, the two x's cancel each other out, and I'm left with just a 10. Now that I have all my x's on one side, I want everything else that doesn't have an x to move away from that side. So since it's on the left side, I want this 30 that doesn't have an x to move over to the right side. I'm dealing with a negative 30, and the opposite of negative 30 will be a plus 30. Same thing as subtraction. If you do some addition to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and add 30 to both sides over here. So we're going to end up with 10x is equal to 40. And you're left with one more operation. The 10 is multiplying with the x, so the opposite operation of that, or I'm sorry, the inverse, I should say, the inverse operation for that is going to be divide by that multiplication of 10. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 10. The 10's over here. 10 divided by 10 is just 1, and we're left with 1x is equal to 4. And that's our answer for solving this multi-step equation. Let's go ahead and do one more problem before I end this video. I noticed that some of you guys still don't like dealing with fractions as well, so let's have one that has a fraction involved. Let's go with 1/2 x plus 17 is equal to 2x. Now everything's really simplified here. There's no distribution that you need to do. There's no like terms that you have to combine right now. We just need to figure out which side we want the x's to be on and which side without x's to be on. Since the 17 is already on the left-hand side and there's no non-x's on the right-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and move the 1/2 x over to the right. Now this is a positive 1/2 x, right? The opposite of a plus will be a negative 1/2 x. Do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side, subtracting a 1/2 x to the other side. On the left side, that's simple enough. The 1/2 x cancels each other out. You're left with just 17. And on the right side, you're left with 2x minus a 1/2 an x. I'm just going to let you know that this should come out to about 3 over 2x. But let me show you how I get that, right? 2x is, well, we're going to just be dealing with the coefficient there, which is 2, and it's subtracting from 1/2. When you're subtracting a whole number from a fraction, it's best to have a common denominator. In this case, this is 2 over 1 minus 1 over 2. Common denominator would be 2. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2 so that they match up. You'll be ending up with 4 over 2 minus 1 over 2. And remember, when you're subtracting fractions, you subtract straight across. That's how I ended up with the 3 over 2. Wow, that's some crazy stuttering I just did there. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and finish this off. Like you guys said, you don't like dealing with fractions, then get rid of the fraction. This is 3 over 2. We can go ahead and do the multiplication to both sides. If you multiply both sides by the denominator of your fraction, it will cancel out. So if I go ahead and multiply both sides by a 2, right? Over on the right-hand side, this 2 down here will cancel out with this 2, and you'll be left with a nice whole number. But remember, if you multiply to one side of an equation, you have to make sure you multiply to the other side. Let's finish this up here. You're going to end up with, this is going to be 34 is equal to 3x. And to finish this off, division property of equality, divide both sides by 3, and you get your final answer, which is going to be 34 over 3. As long as it's reduced, I'm happy. You do not need to write it as a decimal or a mixed fraction. It's a little bit easier to deal with as a improper fraction. I hope this has helped you out, and I'll try to post up another video soon. See you guys later.